Hello, this is Garrard Whateley, and I want to take a look with you at the E2 Deesser from Eiosis. I was at AES last week, and I saw this out of the corner of my eye. Now, coming from a background in film and television, I thought that this was noise reduction plugin or something, but of course, when I got closer, I saw it was a deesser, and Sean from Eiosis gave me a demo. By the way, Sean, not only was it a great demo, he schooled me on the pronunciation of Eiosis. Of course, the first thing that I noticed was the visual interface up here, which is mindful of iZotope's noise reduction plugins, and this really simple user interface that Sean demonstrated for us. The plugin separates sound at the input into either voiced or sibilant processing. Now, this is based on the detection algorithm. In this case, as you can see, I've chosen voiceover. Now, there are other settings as well. Solo vocal is very similar to voiceover, but voiceover is a bit more aggressive, and it's what I need. Now, there are also some for guitar squeaks, overheads, and some mastering settings, so this really does have many applications. So once you get your detection algorithm set, based on this sensitivity, you'll be able to detect what it sees as sibilance going past this threshold. Right now it starts out at 50%, and as you can see,
for younger generations, especially those in major cities,
it is detecting what it sees as sibilance based on this. If you set the sensitivity up to 100, of course, it's going to detect
for younger generations, especially those in major cities,
everything. So let's start back at 50.
For younger generations, especially those in major cities,
next to sensitivity is amount. Now, amount, of course, is the amount of processing as a percentage that's going to go to the sibilance processing. That includes four things: wideband, auto, another dial called smooth, and then some EQing that you can do on the sibilant side. So let's just start with the wideband, and you'll very quickly get a sense. Again, we have this set to 50%, so you're going to expect the levels to come down about halfway to this red line.
For younger generations, especially those in major cities, opportunities that were generally
as you can see, if you set the amount up to 100, of course,
for younger generations, especially those in major cities,
you'll not only see that the level comes all the way down to the red line, but you also really hear that effect a little too much. And this is also true for the EQ section that we'll look at later. Now, let's look at these dials under sibilance. First, we have auto. And as you increase auto, more and more of the frequency peaks are removed. So it affects more and more of the frequencies in that sibilant range.
For younger generations, especially those in major cities,
you can already hear an effect on that. And of course, these dials light up when they are having an effect. So without even having wideband or any EQ or anything, auto is already starting to affect our sibilance. And smooth is something that as you increase it, it has an effect of almost saturating the high frequency harshness. So it kind of, well, as it says, smooths it out.
For younger generations, especially those in major cities, opportunities that were generally unthinkable in the...
And finally, you can do some EQing here. Depending on where you put your cursor, it's going to show you a bell shape, a shelf, or a low-pass filter. So let's start with a bell, and the way you make it happen is you just click and drag it, and then you'll see a representation up in the visual display above of where the center of that bell is. If you look in the sibilant orange bands, the areas that have more white in them are more harsh. So that really helps you to center in on what it is you want to affect most. And since that line represents the center of the bell curve, that's a good place to start. Let's go ahead and make this a little deeper, why not? And if you hold Shift while clicking and dragging, you can affect the slope of the curve. So let's give this a quick listen.
For younger generations, especially those in major cities,
so it's having a pretty big effect already. The other thing you can do on the voiced side, which is the blue dotted lines that are showing up, is you can do some EQing up here. So let's give him a little more bass.
For younger generations, especially those in major cities, opportunity...
Take some low mids out.
For younger generations, especially those in major cities, Opportunities that were generally unthinkable in the past.
And there's a setting here which is really cool. So you got the bell curve, as you can see, on the EQ side, and you have the shelf, and then you have the setting for air up here, which just really fills in something that you can occasionally lose when you are de-essing.
For younger generations, especially those in major cities, opportunities that were generally unthinkable in the past are now available to those who have unique ideas and are willing to work hard. For younger generations, especially those in major cities, opportunities that were generally unthinkable in the past are now available to those who have unique ideas and are willing to work hard.
So that really works, and it doesn't take away all of the brightness. It doesn't take away any of the intelligibility. It works really well. It's very simple. I was able to do a lot of work very quickly with this. It has found a place in my templates now, and it's really helped me out a lot. So I hope that this is something that helps you out. This is Garrard Whateley. Thanks so much.